Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Oh, I should have put it as a short stream in the title. Oh, well. Let me do that real quick. Because we have D&D today, so we won't be hanging out as long as we normally do, but we're here nonetheless. I'm going to be honest, I really don't know what I'm going to do today. I don't know what I want to do today. I was going to do art, but I'm kind of arted out because I arted last night. Sleep. Oh, that's fine. I was like, what the fuck was that? If you guys have meds, be sure to take your meds today, because it's important. Oh, shit, 75. Shabba-booby. 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 Welcome on in, everybody. Hello, Fox. Hello, Kiwi. I have this, like, cute little silicone straw holder for my cup now. And now you'll never hear glass clinking together, and it's great. Shabba-booby. I honestly don't know what I want to do today. I downloaded some games. I might play games. Yeah. I don't know what I want to do. On God, I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna listen specifically for Glass now. Sounds good. Sounds good. I updated Gas Station Simulator. I also downloaded Supermarket Together. Like, that could be fun. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know if anybody has any recommendations, because, like, I just kind of want to vibe today. I don't want to work. I just want to hang out. But I don't know what I want to do. And I don't know. I could play some more Mega Bonk. Go play some more Mega Bonk. What is this? What is this cute little game? Hotel Management. This also looks like a mobile game. Voice Zoo? Yeah, we can do some Voice Zoo. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do Voice Zoo. Because I did also download that, so we'll try it. We'll try it. Maybe there'll be some cute outfits and stuff we can play around with. Open volume mixer. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Okay. My voice to go through game. There we go. I'm making animal sounds myself. That's a little weird. But it does sound kind of fun. Okay, wait. Kind of quiet. Hi, Vex! Oh, perfect timing. You came in for us to play My Voice Zoo. That's a big change. Okay, it's like I can't hear this. I'm gonna turn this off. Please use your system settings. Okay, I think my system settings. You feel a little quiet. Do I feel a little quiet? Hold on. Is this better? Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. I feel like the game's a little quiet too. I don't know. Wait, hold on. That could be good. That could be good. All right. Let's play. Oh, not quick game. Okay. All right. Oh, we're so cute. We're so cute. 7 out of 8. Oh my God, you might get 8 out of 8 today. Adopt. Floats just fine on water, but on land looks like it had a few drinks. Holy luck! I know you might get it today. Okay, so we're gonna be a duck. Is it a duck, right? Or is it a goose? Oh my God, look like it's a chicken. Speed run! Okay. Okay. Do I have to do it for 3 seconds? Okay. That's what the chicken is gonna sound like. Okay. Yippee. I wanna move him over here. This is my chicken. And so a breed, not just a food. Oh! Oh, that's fair. There's a flower over there. Can I have this flower? That's a real weird ass noise that I've made. Reward is like $1. Okay. Oh my god, you have to purchase that? I kinda like the duck girl. Duck enthusiast. Oh my god. Do I just hang out now? This definitely kind of feels like a game I'm maybe supposed to play in the background of stuff. We can explore though. Can I fish? I think fishing would be fun in this game. Picking is the old world for— Really? I did not know that. Oh, more you know. I have $105. Can I buy a new animal? I can. A sheep. People. Bah! Bah! That's actually a really good sheep now. So, Shep. I'll call him Shep. Bah! That's a really good sheep noise. I want my Shep to be right there. I could buy more animals. Okay. How do they not fall off those cliffs? What the fuck? I'm gonna yell for this one. I'm giving you a Oh, damn. You could give them one-liners too. Yeah, but this one I'm gonna scream. Okay? This is so stupid. Oh, this one. What do I do for this noise? I can't wait for it to jump scare you. Oh god. Hi, Flame. What noise what does a fox say? Ding 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 ding. I guess I'll do that. Heyo, heyo. Ding 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 ding. Because that's the only thing I can think of. I'm not gonna listen to it. I got the big papers. Woo! I don't want that goat to yell at me. Just gonna go walk around. Oh, I want to put the goat over here, actually. You can be right here. Oh, it's like proximity. That's funny. That's such a good. That was a really good sheep noise. Oh, brink brink. I'm gonna be like, brink brink, brink brink, brink. I'm gonna name him Gunther. Gunther. Wait, I wanna go here. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Brink brink, brink brink. That's a pretty good. Hello, Rusty. Welcome on in. Thank you for the check-in. We're just playing silly old games. This is the walrus. That's such a good sheep noise. Ding, 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 How much is the walrus? 350. Wink, 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 wink. Wink, wink. I wish I could cast for more, like do something to get more. What do I do the walrus? Walrus. Walrus. Whoa, what? I think it should be like a bruh, bruh, you know, kind of like that noise. Bruh, 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 bruh. We're making the greatest noises here. And my voice is great. Oh, there's so much. We have so much zoo. We have so much zoo. How much is the next one? Apex Predator. What do I make a polar bear noise? Ding, 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 ding. What's a polar bear noise? I'm just gonna have it say Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. How much is it? 500. We're so close. Oh. Okay. Aw, yeah, he looks like he'd say Coca-Cola. Were you gonna audition for a Disney prison setting? What? Pepsi? Pepsi. Pepsi. I want to hear him say it. Pepsi. Pepsi. I wish I could like duplicate the word. Like, I want multiple sheep. I wish you could have like multiple sheep. Move the goat. Easy. I'll just put them all together. This is gonna be great. We're just gonna put them all together. So they all make the noises. Where's the polar bear? Pepsi. Damn, all dudes. Oh, you do a Doppler effect? What does that mean? Why is my game so loud in here? Okay, I gotta walk away from this. Kids stop believing and suddenly, boom, unemployed. Oh, this is a reindeer. I'll make it like a... I actually don't know what a reindeer... I don't know if I want a reindeer. I don't know what I want the reindeer to sound like. We'll come back to the reindeer. What is this? Oh! Oh, shit, I got this. Polly says suck a dick. Oh, wait. Polly says suck a dick. Oh, god damn it. They whistle kid of like elks. What? Reindeer sound like deer? Well, what the fuck do deer sound like? Look at us making all this money. They whistle kind of like elks. I don't really. I wouldn't. But if I is it okay if I whistle? Some people don't like when you whistle over the mic. The goat just yells. I like that the goat just yells. The bat is really good. I really like the bat. I don't know what to do for the reindeer. I'm just gonna be like, I'm a reindeer. Rudolph. I'm a reindeer. I'm a reindeer. Wait, I gotta bring him over here with all his friends. Come here. It's only 1 cent to re-record them, so if we want to re-record them, we can. What does it sound like? I could try it. Hold on, wait. Let me go with my book. Okay, there you go. I watched that movie recently. Pepsi. Wait, I want to hear him alone. Accurate. There you go. You can go with your friends now. $1,000. Give me 1,000. How many are there? Oh wow, there's a lot. What do flamingos sound like? Wait, what do flamingo sound? I'm gonna try to mimic their sounds. Oh, that's gonna be hard to mimic. Happy flamingos? Was that like it? If you want to do the flamingo laugh. Flamingo. Wait, have we met that guy yet? Flamingo laugh. Which one is that one? He has a very normal laugh, though. It's a very normal laugh. I like my bird sound. You come on. You come over here. We're making a symphony. I like the polar bear Bipsy. Maybe I should spread them. Maybe I should just spread them out a little bit. Gunter can hang out with Polly. You kind of make it. Yeah, kind of. I'm not that smart, so I couldn't like do a whole ass thing, but like I can like they got like a little thing. Like Foxy Woxy, pretty musical. Okay, we have enough to adopt the next one. Oh. Who? Wait, no, this is an owl. Who is the noise that they make? Wait, what was the fucking I am you fucking thing from Rush Hour 3? I wanna do something
May
like
I
this.
help you?
We'll be asking the questions, old man. Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
He is me and I. Here's me and I am you. Alright. Damn, we made a lot of money fast. Yeah, cool. That one's not as funny, I feel like. Must be a hobby hovering up high and looking down on everyone. It's an eagle! Okay, I gotta move the mic back. We gotta do the American Eagle screech.
Are you?
Wait,
I
what's
have
it?
told you.
Are you deaf?
No, you is blind.
I'm not blind, you blind.
Oh, is this the eagle? I forget what the screech sounds like. Are we sure?
This is what a bald eagle actually says.
No, I want to hear their screech. That was... I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do an eagle
Hi
sound.
everybody, it's Sika and Sophie, and she is showing off her beautiful territorial...
Oh, I want to like a scream though. I want like a screech. They sound like seagulls. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. I don't know how to do the screech. How do you do a screech? I thought it was more screechy than this. Oh man. Ah! That's pretty good, right? Oh, I recorded that last part. No! Ah! Hamburger cheese. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger, cheeseburger. Okay. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger. You don't screech. That's red-tailed hawks. They pretend they were bald eagle. Really? Wait. Red-tailed hawk? Screech? You're right. You're right. You're so right. Damn, I thought that, oh, damn. Wait, I could almost get the outfit. Okay, wait, I want the outfit. I want to get the outfit. I want to get this duck outfit. Wait, what the fuck? They all make the duck sound now. What the fuck? All animals are making their own sounds. Oh. That's actually a tiger. I kind of want to record the owl again. I want a more normal one. The meme was funny, but Polly might be my favorite, and the goat. Resting bitch face, yeah. Yep. I like their eyebrows. This goat, the goat, bro. The goat's overstimulating me. He's gotta go. You gotta go, dude. You gotta go in that corner. You stay over there. Oh my god. We're gonna get the lion. I'm gonna make it a sassy rawr. I want a monkey. Do we get a monkey eventually? I'm not seeing a monkey. I hope we get a monkey. I want a monkey. This might be a monkey. I don't know. It looks like it's got a horn, though. Yes. Meow. Simba. Come on. He's so tiny. Like, look at him. Look at him compared to, like, the eagle. He's so tiny. Animals placed here may sound a little different. Oh, I see. That's cool. That's cool. That's a lot of money, though. The animals will all... Oh, whoa! Elaine, should I open the peanut sauce to put on my food or just use the already open soy sauce? Peanut sauce sounds better, honestly. But, like, I understand if you think you could save it for later for something else. Campbell singing a random. Who we sing first? Oh my god, wait. They sing in groups 2 on the left and 3 on the right. Keep the order. I want this one. I want the chorus campus. That one sounds fun. Wait, how much is that one? 4,000? Okay. Let's get more animals. I'm just gonna do like a Pokemon thing. Rhino. 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 Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger. It'd be funny if we did like a random like vocal stim generator and just did that for each of them. That would be a lot though. How much is the next one? Since when is a nose also a hand? Oh, this is an elephant. Shit, I got you. Hold on. I gotta walk away. I'm getting overstimulated. Oh my god. Oh, I should have done that. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna re-record the rhino. Rada, rada. Yeah, alright. I don't think we get a chicken. But I like the goose noise. I kind of want to do chicken jockey though. Okay, I'm gonna re-record the chicken to say chicken jockey. Chicken jockey. They were more spread out. Okay, I guess. I guess I could spread them out a little more. This one was like over here. This one was. This one was over here. I think the sheep was over here. The goat, I think, was over here. Fox was over here. I don't know where the flamingo went though. I'm gonna put them right there. 3,000 monies. What elephant? I like when I was a kid. I used to love making elephant noises, like with your like front teeth and your lip. Fonty. All right, hold on. I'll do a random vocal stem and then we'll do that.
That's my chimichanga stand.
That's my chimichanga stand. Okay. It's kind of like, yeah, it's gonna pan back before I can see it. I want a little bit closer to the other. That's my chimichanga stand. What's the next one? This is a hippo! I don't know what noise I should make the hippo make, though. Should we just do another vocal stem, guys? This is my best plan. That's all I got.
Lizard.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Fun fact, the Detroit Zoo was the first zoo to get rid of their elephants for ethical reasons during the winter. It was too cold for older elephants. Oh, that's nice. That's actually super nice. Alright, the vocal stem has spoken. I have to yell again. I'm gonna name it Mark. Ah! And now I must go down and visit him. That's what chimichanga stand. Like to imagine they wore leg warmers on their trunks. Yeah, I think so too. Who's next? Is a bear? I think this is a bear. I gotta do that's a bear. Right. That's how you would yell chasing it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Actually, it might be more of a like smiling friends, because I like making that noise and I think it's spooky. Hey boo boo, you're a poo poo. Hey boo boo. Wait, I can buy this. Oh, I see. Wait, I want all the birds to be together. Wait. Alright. And then you. And then you. And then we gotta get a little bit of yelling going on. And then. Gotta get another one of these. That's what chimichanga stand. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger. Chicken jockey. My favorite birds, the elephant and the cow. Yeah, dude. That's what chimichanga stand. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger. Very nice. Very good. Very, very, very smart. I want the bear. I was gonna say, hey bear! This is a cow chop meme. I'm gonna get all of them. How much is this one? Is this a cow? Oh my god, he's $18,000. He's $18,000! I want a monkey. Hello, Orwell. Welcome on in. We're making animal noises. And if we don't know what animal noise to do, I'd pick a vocal stem and then we can do that one. Almost got it. Almost got the bear. All right. Oh, he cute though. Hey, bear. Call him Yogi. bear. Hey bear. How you doing, Orwa? I hope you're having a good day. Oh, but the bear. LeBron, if they're a boy and LeBron. Okay, Vex, why don't you name your adopted children that? You can name your why I do not. I'm okay. I'm okay. I already know what I'm gonna name my kids. Probably. Is this a tiger? I don't know what I will make the tiger noise as because I already did a sassy meow.
With the chicken strips.
Okay. I'm gonna put him over here.
Mom, why didn't you name me Lethem?
Because that sounds like a drug. I unironically like Lebronica. I do too. But I would not. And because I would not. I feel like it'd be weird if a white and an Asian had a kid named Lebronica, if I'm honest. It's a good name, but it just, you know, might be a little weird. LeBron James. Actually, I want to re-record the bear to say that. LeBron James. God damn it, Kiwi. I'm not looking at chat anymore. I'm looking away from chat no more. I look away. I'm out real. That's what chimichanga stand. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger. Chicken jockey. I think when they stay on this though, they don't make their own noises. Like whenever. Hey, Elaine, guess what? What's up? I swear to God, if you say these nuts, I swear to God. God damn it! Not what I was expecting. God damn it! That's an opera girl for sure. Oh yeah. This go is an opera girl. It's just yells. Hi, Rhino. When the chicken strips. Oh. Wait, did I get it all? When the chicken strips. I'm gonna name him Tony. What the fuck is it? This is my voice zoo where you get animals, but you have to make their noises. When the chicken strips. I like that he's hiding behind the tree. I think it's funny. Wait, I wanted to hide. There you go. Now when he talks. What's next? I think this is the monkey. Are you guys ready for me to be a monkey? That's really just soundboard simulator. This is what it's like to be a soundboard. The goat keeps catching me off guard, even though I'm the one that made the noise in the first place. How much is the monkey? We're close. Pour one out for Harambe. I will name him Harambe. Everything went bad when he died, so. Turn on my blanket. I'm a little cold. I'm a little cold, chat. My blanket button. Nowhere to be found. Oh shit, we can adopt a monkey. Okay, there we go. Alright, adopt. And then we gonna, oh my. And then we gonna call, oh my, he looks funny, Harambe. And then we're gonna go, return to monkey! Return to monkey! Come on, come on, Harambe. You gotta join the gang.
Return to monkey.
Put him right here. You can't place it there.
Return to monkey.
Turtle monkey. Hi, Shizuki. Welcome on in. Dick's out for Harambe. Dick's out for her. Looks like it thinks cuteness solves everything. Is this a panda? What is a panda noise? How much is the panda? 6,000? Okay, we gotta wait a little bit. Is that all? Skadoosh. Oh, you right. I should do skadoosh. I haven't visited our snow babies in a while. Bipsy. When I played this, the eagle was screaming freedom. Oh, that's pretty good. I just did cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger.
Oh, let me move him around.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger.
There you go. Is it 6,000? Was it 6,000 for this guy? Yeah.
Return to monkey.
Wait, but should America be diabetes? Should I make him go diabetes? I want the bears to have a picnic.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger.
Yeah. LeBron James and Polly are having a date. Top 2 on fit diabetes.
Return to monkey.
Whopper, Big Mac.
Oh, we got the next one. Okay. I'm gonna name him Jack Black. Skadoosh. There you go. It's kind of cute though. Wait, I want all the bears to have. I feel like diabetes would be good for a round one. Okay. More bear. Kung Fu Panda, yeah. Oh my God, it's We Bear Bears, guys. We made it. It's We Bear Bears. I hope they have no other bears. Does it look like they have other bears? No, they don't. We literally have We Bear Bears. We Bear Bears. I was about to say that. Yeah, We Bear Bears. Ice Bear. Ice Bear. Ice Bear. Ice Bear. Can I rename them? Oh, I can't rename them. Oh, that sucks. Oh, the next one is a sloth. What do we name? What do we do for the sloth?
Return to
Chicken jockey. I like these guys. These guys are pretty tame. Well, how much is the next one? The sloth? I'm pretty close to it. $6,000. Oh, 700. Okay. I wish you could like do other I wish there were mini games in this. It'd be fun. Though this could be a fun game to teach your kid what animals sound like or not sound like. Okay. Ba. There you go. I did it slow because he's a sloth. It's kind of boring though. Every year.
return to monkey.
Wait! Oh my God! Wait! I know what I could do. Oh my God! I'm stupid. Hold on. Wait. The last stand the line. There you go. Say the thing. Do it. Wait, I gotta put him next to like a yellow flower. Hold on. Wait. Return to monkey. The secret to that smoothie. I think this is a frog. I'm just gonna yell they're turning the frogs gay. Make Pixels play this, but don't tell them you voice acted everything. That'd be really funny. I'll just be like, hey Pixels, you should check out each of these animals. I'll put them, I'll spread them out more, and then he's working, but we'll have to do it another day. Maybe we can do it tomorrow. And I could just have him roam around my zoo. I'm the frog. I'm the frog. You want me to say, are you the frog? Please get his reaction. I will do it on stream. Cause we have D&D tomorrow, so right after D&D, I can probably snag him and be like, "You look at this. The chemicals turned me." Yes, yes, wait, yes, I like that. Is it 7,000? 7,500. Does its tail like a helicopter and never gets tired? I don't know. It's supposed to be a rabbit, I think. Clip it if I miss stream. Aye, Captain. This is a cat. This is a... Wait, I thought this was the rabbit. What is this one, then, if this is the rabbit? This is turtle. Zebra? Cow. Chipmunk. Snail. Is it... I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know what this one would be. Oh, we can buy the frog. I love him! We already have an elephant. What's the fucking guy's name? Freaking frogs gay. What's his name? Alex Jones?
The water turned me gay!
Permit the Kermit? The ribbit.
Turned me gay!
Kermity Frog here. Oh, I don't
Turned me
know.
gay!
I like that.
The water turned me gay!
Wait, maybe I should... I can spread them out at the
Water turned
end.
me gay.
I'll put them right here on this little flower pad.
The water turned me gay!
Okay, now we gotta get... I don't know what this one's gonna be. The tail spins. Is this supposed to be a dog? Like a dog? It's a dog or a donkey, because that would make sense, because these are like more like pet animals. Like, I think it would make sense if it was like dog, cat, rabbit, turtle. Would this be a zebra? Runs and runs as if that's the only thing it knows. I don't know. Sock puppet? That'd be really funny. Yeah, let me... Okay, I'll start moving. I'll start moving the lesser... I feel like you would find him next to water. He can be up here. Flamingo can be here. Hippo can hang out here. That one can hang out there.
Turned me gay!
He can go up here. Go over there. Go get the walrus. I'll put him here. Gunther. Yes, I named the penguin Gunther.
Return to monkey!
I don't remember
Return to monkey!
where the monkey goes. So I'm gonna put him right there. Updates for more animals. I could too, honestly.
Return to monkey!
I think Pixels will know. He knows what this game is about, but I will record his reaction to these. I think this one's gotta be like over here. Like it's gotta be like far over here. So that way it's not like a first thing.
Water turned me gay!
I think I'd like to have the bears all together still. So I'm gonna put them like over here. But wait, now the owl's kind of far back. All right, now we have. This scene's pretty short. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what this is. It's a dog. All right, I'm ready. Okay. Rufus. I need to like spread him out. Like maybe like right there. Doesn't know what you. That's fair. That's fair.
The water turned me gay.
And like, do you know it's really hard to. Ruff, 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 ruff. I'll bark no matter what. I'm small brain vexed. Aww. Aww. Oh. I'm gonna name it after my cat. I like making a cat noise. Learn from my cat. That's a pretty good cat noise. See, I'm good at animal noises, guys. Wait, what the fuck do I make as a rabbit noise? Rabbits don't really. They like. The only noise that I feel like they make is the sound they make when they eat like dandelions. I like this guy. I didn't record my cat. That was me, man. This is all me.
Water turned me gay.
Bruh. I just named it after my cat. Oh, what up, Doc? Yeah, that's good. That's good. I could do what's it? What's up, Doc? Buns kind of grunt if they're mad, or thump their back feet if they're angry. That's fair. It's really cute, I think, when they thump their feet when they're angry, though. How much is Windy Hill? 8,000? I want to get all the animals first. Damn, these guys are getting expensive. I want to know what the Windy Hill will make the animals sound like. Echo makes sense, but I feel like Windy Hill might make them sound like they're going through a fan, which is something funny. Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close. That cat noise is pretty damn good, if I say so myself.
That's what Jimmy Tonga stand.
That's what Jimmy Tonga stand. Oh, it's just like a baby bunny. Okay. What up, Doc? I don't know if I like that one. Oh shit. What up, Doc? Okay, well. When you go, ah!
Water turned me gay.
Why is it in the frozen area? What up, Doc? I didn't get to name this one by accident. That's fine.
The water turned me gay.
It says bunny on it. Carrying its home on his back must be. Totally give it a. That would have been funny. But I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. What up? Got any cigs? Got any cigs? Okay, I can do it. Hold on.
The water turned me gay.
Got any cigs? Oh, I can rename it. Only Lola. Sound like my grandma? What the fuck? There you go. I got it. I got it. We got it. We got it, Jen. We got it. I'm watching your. I want. That's what the snail. I want this one. I want the snail to sound like. I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski. Always watching. Now I'm just gonna wait for the money. She's been a smoker 6 years, so it's accurate. Fuck yeah. I just kind of like pressed on my voice box. 14,000, 14,000, bruh.
That's what your tongue goes then.
That's what your tongue was named.
The water turned me gay.
I know what to do. Spy. I'm glad you like the info. Am I not turtly enough for the turtle club? Am I not turtly enough for the turtle club? I hope that was enough. Thank you for the lurk. Wait, isn't there the turtle video where they're like, is that not funny? YouTube, please. Yeah. I'll do it. Yeah, they fucking, yeah, they are. I don't think, fucking, nah, it's gotta be higher pitched than that. Why don't I rename it then? I didn't realize when you re-record, you can change its name. Jennifer Coolidge. I'll call her Jennifer then. Hi, Norman. Oh, I should have done. Ah, dog. It's fine. I like the one I did.
That's what your tongue goes then.
I hope Pixels gets every meme that's in here. How's it going, Norman? How's your day going? We're just recording weird animal noises today for a little bit. I don't know. I feel like this one's a zebra. Because it doesn't look like a cheetah. I just got home from work. How was work? Looks like an okapi. What's an okapi? I'm good. I'm just trying to chill today. Could be an okapi. It's got the like the tuft on the back of it that makes me think it might be a zebra. A horse. It could just be a normal horse. It is a normal horse. It's a horse with sunglasses. Okay. We have a few we have a few choices. I can make a horse noise. I could go, there's no cock like horse cock. Or I could do something else. You guys have any ideas? I'll think of a name while you guys pick. I'm gonna name him Stanley. Horse cock? Okay. I'll sing it even. There's no cock like horse cock. Horse cock. I gotta put him like over here though. There's no cock like horse cock. Man. Turning down stream volume. You're welcome, Wolf. That was probably the most out of pocket one. The next one was the cow, chicken, and a snail. Meaner coyote is goated. Very, I agree. I can't believe the cow is 18,000. I'm gonna get the Windy Hills though. Hold on. About the thing. Come on, Alex Jones, we're going up. What the fuck? What the fuck? Should be sus and say you want to drink my milk. I was just gonna do a normal. I'm leaving Alex Jones up there. He's just so perfect up there. I can't move him. He's just perfect. No one else gets to go up there.
Return to monkey.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do for the chick. I'm gonna do the from that movie, dude. Yeah. I know. My brain locked in. Milk me. I kind of like that one. I might do that one. 18,000, fuck. My other turn. I'm so locked out. Just got 3 animals left, man. I think this thing only has, yeah. The final guess. Only a true zookeeper can encounter this being. It looks like a hamster. Was it 18,000? 16,000? 18,000. Hamster. Yeah, if this is a hamster, I'd fucking just say hamster. 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 Oh, we're close to the cow. Milk cow. It's a lane. This one's a lane. Milk me! Milk me! Milk me! You're welcome. Milk me! Milk me! Milk me! We gotta put him somewhere else, though. Milk me! Milk me! Milk me! I'm gonna put him over here. Milk me! I gotta like spread them out so that way Pixels doesn't get all of them at once, you know? I wanted them to hang out together. How do I get this achievement? I want this achievement. It says I unlocked it. Only a true zookeeper had to encounter this. Wait, was that the panda bear? Oh, I think that was the panda bear. Aww. All right, 21,000. I might get this. Milk me, milk me. And I might should I put the cat down there? Milk me. Or the cow. Anticipation. This is not what I thought was gonna happen. Wait.
Return to monkey.
It's like, oh shit. Oh no. I think we could keep these two guys. I think we're just gonna keep the cow here.
Return to monkey.
Okay, and then yeah. It's a good spread. We gotta put someone like here though. I think. 21,000, and then we kept Alex up here, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna put them there, and then I'll put him like over here so it kind of leads down. Yeah. A little bit more up here. Yeah.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger.
I'm being elaborate. I'm gonna be elaborate with this. We're planning. Maybe I'll move this guy like a little bit over here, and then yeah, we're good. Yeah, every time. Yeah, yep. Yes. These guys are a little close, but what's the next one? Like 21,000. Okay. Seeing that video, the fucking clip makes me like, what does my life come to? Did you put that in club clippings? Oh my god. What does my life come to? Never be allowed to be bored on stream. This is what happens. That's fair. Yes. Okay. Wait, this is a hamster. Oh shit. Hamster. I can't do like the echoey noise. I might change the hamster to be like oh. That's fine. That's enough.
Chicken jockey. Hamburger cheeseburger.
I'm putting well, look how it come down a little bit.
Hamburger cheeseburger.
Where do I want to put the hamster? Everyone's like a good spacing. I'm gonna put him like right here, I think. Yeah. Alright, now we just need the last one. To add one. Let's get all the... Oh, wait, I wanted the forest one. Wait.
There's no cock like horse cock.
Wait, I want all the yelling ones. Hold on. This one. Who else yells? I just want to hear them yell at the same time. Okay, I'm good now. I kind of want all the camps just for fun. Just to fill the place on out, you know? Look at that. There you go. Now we have all the camps. We have all the camps. We have both of the special areas. I feel like I should get all the outfits too. Oh my god. Wait. Oh, wait. If I make them all sound like the frog, they'll all sound like Alex Jones. And then I could put them all on the forest one and play them all at once. Hold on. This is gonna be great. Huh, I need this. I need this outfit. I need it right now. Give it to me, please. Please.
The water turned me gay. The water turned me gay.
I need one more.
The water turned me gay. The water turned me gay.
The
Water turned me gay. The water turned me gay.
It's so silly.
The water turned me gay.
I'm just gonna buy all of them just because I can. Average Pride Parade.
That's what you become.
This is so beautiful. Thank you, Vexed. This is such a beautiful game. No, we just need a snail. Damn, it gives 108 every 6 seconds. That's not bad.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger, chicken jockey.
I wish I could do like a cookie clicker type thing. You guys want to get a cookie clicker game? Can we get a cookie clicker game? I kind of want to do like a cookie clicker game. Like, I don't want cookie clicker itself, but like cookie clicker, but you type. What is this, clicker? Not a clicker game. Slay bosses and click. My life as an archaeologist. That sounds kind of cool. The fuck is this? Step into a wonder doctor, a traveling doctor whose daily work is to... 25,000. Berry. Shellquarium is pretty cool. I saw that one, but is that one like I want like something that's a little bit active with the with the clicking, you know?
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Whopper, Big Mac, hamburger. Ding, 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 ding.
Ball Crush Simulator. My goodness gracious, that's just like $3. Earth Must Die out now. What the fuck? How much items? Minutescape trailer, unnamed space. This one seems cool. Chocoarium is a cozy, relaxing game. I mean, this one might be fun actually. I like the aesthetic of Chocoarium. Per plate? What's per plate? Oh, we could also try Burger Galaxy. Or Galaxy Burger. It's one that Beezy was playing the other day and it seemed pretty cool. We'll look at more games. Hold on, I gotta buy the last one. So close. Alright, I'm ready. I'm gonna what was the snail's name? I don't remember the snail's name. I was just a snail. I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski. Oh, wait, I want to hear it. I have to move. Okay, alrighty. We got them all, chat. This is beautiful. Alright, I'm gonna quit the game. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom really quick. We'll listen to some music, and then I'll be right back, okay? like picking what fish you want because of how much money they make or how cool they look. That kind of sounds cool. Oh, the sale event, tiny roguelikes? Is this a third-party roguelike gamers guy? Roguelikes, you say? Fun fact, Ross from Monsters, Inc. was voiced by Bob Peterson, who also voiced Doug in Up. Isn't Doug the... Is that the dog? Yeah, it's a dog. Oh, that's cute. I liked his voice as Doug. It was very cute. Like the job you've done on me, sir. You've been hosting parties. In my mind, I'm working for time you have you in my world. To this to be a lover. Hi, Quitso. Welcome on in. Be a good background game. I had it on the second monitor while doing work for a while. That's fair. I did have an idea to do some art. So we might do art and play that game. At a reckless fever. I just want to look at the sale really quick. Hello, Stripes. Welcome on in. Believe her, right the job you've done on me, sir. And hosting parties in my mind.
The horse is here.
That scared the shit out of you. Familiar with the content creator Alicia? Oh yeah, Alicia X Live. Yeah, I did a video on her once. I just really like roguelike, so I like to see the state of them. Hell Clock, Loop Bane. Yeah, Rogue Duck Interactive isn't. Yeah, they're the ones that give me keys all the time, actually. That's pretty cool. Her accounts got deleted? No! Beck, shut the fuck up. You're just being a goober. You're saying that because I'm Yoshi. You goob. One hidden. What's the one that's hidden? Hopefully she can get them back, though. I've seen it sometimes takes a while, but I've seen quite a few people get their accounts back, so hopefully it'll be okay. Is to run the start. I just want to. Yeah, hopefully. I feel like you call me a liar because I'm a truther. But to be honest, when a channel gets deleted, I think it needs like a while before it's like irreversible, you know. So hopefully she can get into contact with YouTube and just get those fixed, because she could beat it. I don't want to beat myself up, please. Who's going down at the party? 5 more minutes. What is this? What is this? I like the art of it. It's cute. Is when everything is shared. What is this? Side effects? A twisted trial. Oh, it's the pill one. It's the pill one. Oh. That's what I was gonna say. Thanks. Doesn't it scrub all her vids and subs when... Does it? I doubt it. I think it's just kind of like... I feel like what happens when... Typically on the back end, what happens is it's not deleted, right? They still, like, have it. And then, like... it's just that the website is like, oh, this is a null thing. The link don't match up with link, so it gives it like a different link technically that's like on their end. And then I feel like it would be very unfortunate, and I'm sure like many people have accidentally deleted their accounts before, so I feel like it's a thing where they could probably get it back, and if not, I am terribly sorry. But I just feel like at this day and age, if they don't have something that kind of like backs that up and like doesn't like delete it immediately, like, you know, like it'd be kind of crazy. But activate delete, yeah, so this is more gory than the other one. Really? Damn. But yeah, so like yeah, Twitch lets you reactivate a deleted account, so it's kind of like, I think as long as it's like within like within 30 days for sure, but like within a week, I'd say, then like I think it'll be okay. What the fuck is this? Oh, Headbanger, I heard of that one. On my list. Only am my bitch. Check, 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 check. Ship of Fools. Check, check. Thank you for the song request. Alright, fuck it. We're gonna grab... She hacked or reported hacked. Yeah. Is there anything on my wish list that I want? Sort by price. Is this free? Cards of Universe and everything is free? My god. Can we play BOGO? Wait, hold on really quick. Can we play BOGO's Binted? Is that like, can we play that single player? But it's a check. Oh, the sword game is out now? Which one? The half sword? Is that one the one you're talking about that I've been seeing? Check. With up to 4 players. It looks like you have to play with them. Okay. Blade Song, I think? Janky alien game. Yes, BOGO's Binted. I got a key for it, so I gotta make a thing on it. Wait, is it? Oh, I think I had a friend that was looking forward to Witchfire. Where'd it go? Neo 3? Already? Oh, this is a song. Oh, this is a game where you get to make swords, right? That's cool. Let's just see if anything else on my wish list is like on sale or anything. Oh wait, is there anything cool in here? I thought I bought the winter collection. I time to buy these collections because I think they're cool, but I don't know if I want this one. Any swords? Just play Jacksmith? Jacksmith? What's that? Jacksmith. They got no clue. Oh, this is cute. Oh, this is cute. Do you play as like a blacksmith and then like you get to help adventurers with their quests? That's kind of cool. It's free. Causal Lime also has a DLC. That's fair. I just feel bad because we never get to the DLCs. We could play some though. It's got that roguelike that I want. Cool math games. Does cool math games have Oh my god, this is loud. I just want to play it. Oh, he follows the mouse. This is very scary. You've called the local order. Pig is swordman. You'll need to craft him a sword. Oh, is this one? Dun 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 dun. Oh, dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh, this is up to where my mouse is? We gotta pull it slower? Oh, is I supposed to pull it slower? Oh. Wait. That's a really bad sword. Oh, God. And start building another sword, okay. Okay. Better metals, okay. Oh, I pulled it too fast, didn't I? I pulled it too fast back. Oh, fuck. I pulled it too fast. Oh, game too strong. Too strong. Wait, I want to make like an actually good sword now. God damn it. There you go, bud. I did hammering really good. Craft one more sword, then it's time to go to battle. Okay, this guy is gonna get the greatest sword. Okay, I'm gonna pull it real slow. This one. Copper. Yeah, I pulled it real slow, like. Oh, look at that! Ooh, that's a good ass one. Is this good? I did it. Okay, well now I'm kind of having fun. Damn, look at that. Oh, I made such a good sword. I'm such a good swordsmith. Oh, forging 100, bro. Let's go. Oh my god. I think graphic acceleration might need to be on for this. Time to go to war. Hope I did okay. You can see how fucked up the other swords are. Oh, it's just a bat. We got this, guys. Oh, I gotta move my mouse over it. Get 'em, pigs. A Terragoo. Oh. Each weapon's durability increases when it's used, and when a monster attacks, when the durability reaches 0, the weapon will break. Oh. Yeah, good job. Good job, pigs. Their swords are getting weak, though. We gotta make them new swords soon. No, I missed one. They got this. They got this. They got this. Oh, he ran. Oh, I think they got this. I think they got this. Just mono-y mono. Come on, my boy. Yay! Ooh, I can collect. If you defeat all of the monsters on a day's trail, you can collect. Ooh. Ooh. Vix, you're so cute. Alright, I did it. I want to make more weapons. Oh, a simple bow? Whoa. Okay. I'm ready. All of your weapon designs. An armor piercer. Okay. Big deal, though. Oh, he's gonna order it. Okay. He wants one of these. Okay. Bronze. Want to multitask in the background, otherwise just switch. Okay, well I'm okay. I want to give each weapon its deserved attention. Then I gotta pull this out. Oh wait. It's like uneven. Wait. I think that's pretty even. Hello, Pixels. Let's do this one. I never got the perfect bow. Oh, fuck. There you go. Fuck yeah! I did it. Forging. Oh yeah, the searching. Oh fuck, so close. All right, what does he want? He wants a sword. Around. How was your meeting? Hope you had a good meeting. What are you up to? I don't know. I'm just playing random games, I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking about playing a clicker game, like Cookie Clicker, but maybe better than Cookie Clicker. And then we were thinking about playing Chill Aquarium while I do some art. I don't know. And now I'm playing this Flash game. I see how this is supposed to work. Okay, okay. Do you want to react to my farm or my zoo? Would you like to react to my zoo? We finished our zoo, so if you'd like, you could check it out. I did it. I made a cool ass sword. If you're done with your meeting, I'm afeared. Well, you come over here. Come over here. Chat wants to hear your send pixels to the farm. They wanna hear your reaction. Okay, I just gotta make this bow really quick, and then I am more afeared. Don't be afeared. It's a good old time. Wait, I have to make this sword, okay? Just give me like 10 seconds. I'm just gonna make this. Gotta get it perfect. Be not afeared. Okay. I'm gonna just kind of get it, and then like, it's like so close. How was your meeting? Did you have a good meeting?
Yep, it was good. We only had a few things to go over, and then we just have to do some individual work.
Sounds good. Yeah. Just let me make the perfect arrow.
We were talking a bit about like 3D print workflows and.
Fuck. It was worse.
We were talking a little bit about 3D print workflows and wood workflows and different things. So that was kind of cool.
That's cool. Okay. Okay, do you want to sit in my seat? You're gonna have to put my headphones on.
Why do we need to sit?
I guess you don't have to. Here, okay. Yeah, then I can guide you through it. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Now put these on.
Yeah.
Is this random?
I don't know. That one goes on your other ear. Other one.
Oh, this one?
Hang on, let me move my mic so you guys can hear
Oh,
pixels.
this is why you were making weird sounds.
Okay, are you ready?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Okay, and then we got a sloth. And then we have Foxy Woxy over here.
No! Why?
And then a sheep. Make a pretty good sheep noise though. And then we've got the American eagle, no longer extinct. And then we have Gunther.
Who's talking about fucking whoppers?
That's America.
Oh.
That's America, man. That's the American bald eagle. And then we have Gunther. And then we have the reindeer. Oh, hello, guys! Hello, come on in. Thank you for the raid. I'm showing Pixels my zoo.
I thought that's the sound the fucking reindeer made.
This one? The
What the f?
You got a sig?
Sigs.
Yeah, you got any sigs?
Segs.
Turn up the game sound. Oh shit. Okay, hold on.
Not any sigs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then we got a wall, right?
Not any sigs.
Whoa. I did the cow. I did Moira pretty good though.
That's
Yeah, I did a pretty good cat one.
Why you have a parrot turning tricks in your farm?
What do you mean? It's telling you to suck a dick. That was pretty normal. And then we got We Bear Bears. We got LeBron James. We've got Pepsi, and we got
That's what your
Jack White.
Chunga stand.
Pepsi. Skittish.
For big
and
Mac.
then we have
Chicken jockey.
chicken
jockey.
and then we got Tony the Tiger.
There's no cock like horse cock.
Chat, he's disappointed. Chat, he's very
There's no
disappointed.
cock like horse cock.
And then we've got a snail. Yep.
What's Tony the Tiger say?
I don't remember.
And then chicken strips.
Chicken strips was.
Chicken strips.
Return to monkey.
Return to monkey.
That could have been a lot.
This one's pretty
I
normal.
only heard Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Rada.
You like that?
Mark's a lot louder.
No, that one's pretty normal.
That's my chimichanga stand.
That's my chimichangas stand. Alright, and then for the peace resistance, you have 2 left.
Oh no, I'm afeared.
Go down to the echo zone where you meet me.
What does it say?
It's saying milk me.
No.
You got the frog yet? That's the last one. It was like, but the thing is, they called it the Echo Cave, so I thought it was gonna echo, not do that. And then the other one is the windy one, so I thought it was gonna be a
That's my
fan.
chimichanga stand.
And then, oh wait, we didn't get a. Wait, no, we did.
For Big
No,
Mac
you showed me all this.
Did we get disappoint?
Hamburger, cheeseburger,
Did we
waffle,
get the
bacon,
goat though?
hamburger.
Not the goat, right?
Lego. It reminds me of Sound of Music. It's the splitting image. You remember the singing book?
Yeah.
Sound of Music.
And then wait, I can make it better. Wait, I can make it better though.
No.
Wait. Quick.
Water turned me gay. Water turned me
They're all
gay.
saying what the frogs.
Water turned me gay.
No.
Water turned me gay.
They will all say it. They will all say what the frogs.
Water
say.
turned me gay. Water turned me gay.
Even the one down here says what the frogs.
No.
Me gay. Water turned me gay. Turned me gay. Turned me gay.
Yeah, I can tell they all.
Except this one, they're all normal. again. I like the way he sit though. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that little toes.
Oh, God.
Thank you for coming to my zoo. Alright, this is every animal. I bought every animal. Every expansion in the zoo. Yeah, look at that. I'm making so much fucking money. Thank you for... I might have ruined his dick. He is so disappointed. He walked out of my office like a disappointed father and an iPad child, realizing that he raised an iPad baby. We got good times here. We have good times here. Thank you, Lee. I got you. He would have wanted to know what like all that was about at some point. So that was pretty fun. I'm glad that we did that. Oh my god. You can disappoint him more by getting into magic. I don't want to disappoint him that hard. He might disown me. He might divorce me. The thing is, I was like, I would, yeah, no, I know Magic the Gathering Arena, yeah, but like, I don't even know how to play it. And also, someone have to make a deck for me. I wouldn't like make a deck out of my own volition. Oh, a quarter, yeah, that kind of magic, obviously. I make a throne thing that's like X amount of money. It's so I can buy a booster pack. But it says it's for a fucking magic. Deck building is half the fun in my opinion. That's fair. I think I like ordering card packs. Should we get card shop simulator? Cause then I could get the booster pack simulation, and I wouldn't have to spend more money than probably like $5. Oh, it's that? There is a TCG card shop sim. It's like a lot of the other like simulator games, but you own a card shop. Boop, boop. Oh, his arrow broke. Sorry, hold on. I just want to finish this. I can't just make these weapons and not let them go out and try them. Is the borders really this thick? They are. Can you pretend to make a pack opening YouTube channels? There's a decent mod for quality of life and cards. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I could. I've wanted to try that game, so hold on. TCG. It's $12. It's $12. Wait, is the mods for it? Is it the mods for it in Steam? The demo is still up and free. Oh, okay, we can try the demo then. Will the demo like convert though? Damn, you could buy a couple real packs of MTG cards for $12. Well, listen, you gotta give me $12. I'm gonna install this. I don't think it converts. Okay, well, let's see. Well, let's see if we like it. Cause like the thing about these games is they don't really. I don't know how much personality they have. All mods are Nexus. Do I have? It's Vortex. Hold on. Do I need a? Come on, let me look it up. Mods. Yeah, they're on. Okay. Okay. Wait, I want to see what cards they got. Cause like, oh, we could do a MetaZoo, dude. Oh, big oof. We could do One Piece, but I feel like that'd be hard because like, I don't know all the characters. Do Nikki ones? Well, I don't really like the Nikki. I don't really know anything about the Nikki. I shouldn't say I don't like it. I just don't know anything about it. Polski Nikki Replacer board game add-on. VTuber Hispanic mod, bro. Just make a mod. I mean, I could do Adventure Time. Or mostly non-English or half-assed. Have you tried the Adventure Time ones? Because the Adventure Time one looks like they're based off of Card Wars. I'm on God, I might just do Magic, because I really like Magic the Gathering card art. V Collect, that's crazy. I'm surprised I didn't do that sooner. Husband Hotel. What are the, can I sort it by most downloaded? They publish downloads. There's a lot of VTuber ones. There's one you can upload your own cards. Yeah, add entirely new card mod. I think that looks like that will be what that is. I think they got the architecture overhaul. It'd be fun to make your own cards if you like the game. That would be really fun. Oh. Dude, actually, this might be kind of cool. I kind of like this one though. This one's actually kind of cool. This is all cards and then empty except for plushies and figurines. Currently 2 available options to experience. See iconic cards of all time themed. 0.7 is horribly broken. I kind of like the Magic ones. Includes Magic. How do I look up if it's just Magic? A year ago, 2 weeks ago. What is this? Do you actually get to play Magic? Oh, you get to buy oh wow, look at it. That's a lot of Magic stuff. Hello, Chippy! Those are 3D model plushies. If I 3D model plushies, bro, we're gonna be here for ages. Endorsements, I guess. I mean, this one's pretty good. I kind of like this one. Magic wand, Wheeze Magic. That's 24.9k. Yeah, we might if we do it, I might do this one. The devs are still working on playable card game mechanics. I mean, I don't think you gotta do all that. I don't think you gotta do all that. I think it's just fun being able to have a shop, you know? What I would say they should work on is the style of the game. Like, the ambient occlusion could be a lot better. Like, they could, like, bake in some shadows. Like, this is all, like, oh my god, the sensitivity. Is better? I think this is a bit better. Is there motion blur? Working, you can play tabletop set, RMTG online. Interesting. Quality preset high. That's fine. Let's turn the music off. Am I supposed to put this? I feel like putting it higher is not the way to go, but yeah, that is not. Okay. Okay. Hello, Fruitbat! Welcome on in. I quit my day job to open my own garden store. This is the time to get down with business. Rename. The Milk Club. Milk Club. TCG. No, Trading Card Shop. Milk Club Shop. Milk Club. The Milk Shop. Milk. I'm gonna call it TCG Milk. Milk of... Oh, wait. That's really good. Open the phone and stock up on cards. Open the phone. Stock up on cards? Am I supposed to stock order? Okay. I'm gonna buy them all. Wish I was a little bit taller. Wish I was a baller. Oh, I already added the card. We don't need anything else. Yeah, wow, this is a lot of boxes. Do I need, like, all of these, though? Oh. Someone gonna steal these? So there's a lot of cards. Plenty to stock and more to rip. Exactly. Audio. Oh. I'm sorry. My bad. I forgot to change it. My bad. Thank you. Let's do game. There you go. Should be better. Yeah, let me know if it's still loud. Also, I gotta change the category I'm in. Okay. Alright, there we go. I just want to make sure nobody steals all my boxes. Alright, how to open it. Our open box. Hold. Oh, damn. Okay, cool. Bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I would have been a good hair collar. I wish I was a baller. Market price, we'll do it $350. And done. I'm gonna throw these away. I'm gonna put these boxes over here. Bit taller, wish I was a baller. You can easily go about 20% over market price. Damn! Just like real life. Okay, then I'll make it $5. Wait, let me make it $5 then. I don't know if that's 50% or not. There. Alright. Oops. Oh, wait, do I gotta put them like up? And then I can take some and open them? I presume? Oh, we are open. Wait, I want to open one. Ooh. Okay, I want to open 3 of them. Okay. Okay. Not bad. I mean, we're making stuff. At least we're making stuff. Oh, that was a $4. Oh, $3 card? Oh, I didn't see how much that one was. Not bad. $16? The box is open on the ground. You can take it from the box. Okay, cool. I will already have you up under my arms. Wish this would be a little bit faster. Guppy. Alright. No big hits in that one. No big hits in that one. Like you're cooler than me. Hey, I remember my name. Just don't mind me. I'm just gonna open this pack really quick. And make it faster. Oh, okay. Oh, we got a holographic card. Very nice. Cute. I think I made my cards too expensive. That's not bad, not bad. We made a good amount on that one. Oh, look it out. You need everyone's eyes just to feel seen. Wake up, nobody knows. I don't see the speed. So I'm gonna make you. Wait until you pull a ghost card. Man, basic card packs are sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we'll make them $4. On the stage just to hide your face. Change 15. Giving 15. How do I? Oh, done. Hey, man. Oh, you see, yeah, we had the discount on cards. Yeah. Lane, I'm at work and petting. Oh, cute. The total is $28. Have a nice day. Just gonna, if I place the box. Wait. Take item. Oh. Oh, I gotta open these. Waraboo. Kitsune. Okay. Okay. Alright. Yes, 1 second. The animation's kind of slow. Oh, I have to open it? I'm playing the demo. Gotta open these packs. I don't like that you can't, like, cancel out of it. I don't know if that's just, like, a demo thing. $2. Have a nice day. Okay. $20. Open his back too. The demo didn't get some of the quality of life updates. That makes sense. Give me this. $32. Buy a play table and put it on the shop. Buy a play table? Yeah, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. Open some more packs. It's like if I swipe my mouse, spent it all on cards. I did. That's the important part, though. We needed to spend it all on cards. We're a card shop. $4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Oh, it's pricey, but you bought them. Those are life savings, you basement dweller. I did what I had to keep this shop alive. Excuse me, sir. I don't like where this shelf sits. I hate where a lot of things sit right now in the store. Oh my god, he bought a lot of cards. You gonna resell these on eBay? One, 2, 3, 4. Here you go. Hello, sir. Oh my god! You can reorganize the store? Good. $68. Damn, nice day. I wanna move this. This should be like at the back of the store. Excuse me, I'd like to move this. There you go. There you go. Alright, just one pack for you, sir? No problem. There you go. Yeah, see, now we can see everything. Can we buy the table now? It's 200. Yeah, we can buy the table. Okay. Let me check this person out. Okay, there you go. Have a nice day. Give me this table. I'll put the table right here. I think it should be next to the window so at least these guys can get some fucking sunlight. Where'd the box go? Oh, maybe. Wow, people will buy a lot of packs. That's probably, I mean, like how it was when packs weren't super overpriced. Probably how it was. Open box. Excuse me. The boxes for furniture aren't real. Oh, okay. Good. I can't hear back. Mwah! Those were from you. Runs away. She's so cute. Let 10 customers play? I don't have enough boxes. Or I don't have enough money for that. Look at them play. That's cool. You can see, like, their hands and stuff. That's cool. They have the same hand. I think they have the same hand. I can feel her. Thank you. $12. I'll play with him. Oh. I'll open another pack. Where's my... There's 17 boxes in there. 32. I thought I had a 17. Oh, it's this one. No, it's not. What? What a box? Oh, maybe I put it up. Yes. Nope. Just gonna open one of these while they select their items. A new one. Do I get a binder? Where's my binder? Actually, I want to do Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Can we do Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Thank you for the wellness check, Rubette. press R? Press R. Hold on. Let me check this lady out and I'll press R. Thank you. No. Whoa! Look at my Pokemon cards. Very cool. Look at them. Just playing card game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, do they have a Yu-Gi-Oh! One? I'd be actually like super interested in a Yu-Gi-Oh! One. 4 months ago. Oh, looks like they have a Yu-Gi-Oh! One. Fuck yeah. They have Mo's cards? Cool. I need like $3 more. Hey, would you mind giving me $3? I want to buy another table. I'll play. This guy looks so lonely. Oh, there's shop expansions. Okay. Pay bills? There's bills I have to pay?
Do you want any breakfast sausage? And do you want anything longer with it?
Yes. If you think I'm gonna go with it, but I'm not picky. Huh?
I like mine with little maple syrup.
For your pay, $8. $8. And turn the lights on. Is this the fucking light switch? Why is it there? I'm just saying, this game could use a little bit more shadows and depth. The guy looking lonely than this. I know, right? Right? It's based on how big your store is and on electricity and employees. Interesting. Oh, I can buy another table. Oh, they left. There you go. Father or a brother and his younger brother. And his boys. The boys and the younger brother. Look at that. So it's nice. Oh, you can put stuff up here. I didn't know that. I've been kicking around my boxes. I was wondering where my box went. It's about $200 a day for bills. I have no more money though. I have no more money though. I spent it on a table. What do you mean? I don't have money for bills. I spent it all on cards. Apparently my bills in the store are $200 a day and I spent all $1,000 on cards. But I'm selling them. I'm not opening them. Tragedy, that sounds too real. Yeah, a little bit. Tables earned per hour based on what you... Oh, you can set them? We're a little bit more expensive here. Very nice. Oh, is the little brother gonna buy some cards? That might be a lady. When does the day reset? Non-binary sibling, exactly. Damn, she be losing hard. Press enter to start, but I don't have enough money for rent. Just satisfied 14. Uh-oh. Are we at negative money? Are we at negative money? We might be at negative money, chat. didn't get money from the 2 who are still playing. Oh, fuck. Fair. Just want to see how much my bills would cost. Fuck, I might have fucked up a little bit. Thank you for the headband. Oh man, this guy's buying a lot of packs. Maybe you want to play today? You look quite divine tonight. Boop, boop, boop. No negative. Profit is based on what you started the day with. So that was all you spent plus you made what you made. Ah. Wrong clip. No. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that was a clip you posted earlier. $2. No one's had me doing cents yet. Ah, okay. No one cost $2. That's what I'm saying. We're in the early 2000s though. This shit ain't real. There we go. Alrighty. Thank you. $8. 1, 2, 3. There you go. I want to buy another. I don't want to buy those. I want to buy like maybe like a card shelf this way or another table. I guess I could do another table. I love Monster Mon. It's my favorite card game. Fuck yeah, it's a classic. Right, another table. We have plenty of tables. Yes. Let me check this lady out and then I'll move this. There you go. Oops. Why can't I put that there? Oh, maybe it's because, like, it needs room for the door, I guess. And then, oops. Keep thinking it's the wrong button. Put it, like, here. Never. More tables. Yeah, what the fuck? We're gonna start making the intervention banner for our living room based on how stream is going. What? Don't know. I mean, at least I didn't buy the game. Listen, we're just playing the demo. And I do this in all the games. Any game that's like you have to buy stock or something, like Gecko Shop Sim, I just buy all the geckos. And pray that I make enough money. But that one doesn't have bills at the end of the day. I want to put the cards over here. This song is Pixels. And then I'm the one going, Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Oh, that one already is full. Oh, okay. Oh, that means we can open one. Seedant. Oh, a shiny Seedant. Not bad. Not bad. The shiny Seedant was pretty good. Didn't know that me be set you free. I am in misery. Hey, oh, shiny fishy. Not bad. Oh my god, my phone just fell off of its phone tracking. What the fuck? You good? You good? I think it got too warm. It just kind of fell off the sticky pad. But we're good now, I think. This scared the shit out of me. Buy a card shelf and put it in the shop. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I bought a table. Oh, don't you think something to me? Oh. Answer me. Take item. Aw. Ew, stinky! Ew, stinky! I mean, cards are a little expensive. A little expensive, yet you bought fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I don't have no money. I bought a table. It's crazy. Listen. Sometimes that's just how it is, you know? This is how it is. Stinky. Ew. Ew, stinky. See, I'm keeping my stuff well supplied. So you got that green aura for real. Yeah, it's really gross. I like that women in this game can be stinky. It's not just the guys. I need like a little side table for the boxes. Basic hardback is a little expensive. How much is it normally? Oh, well, I don't give a shit, man. I gotta make my money back. See, they're still paying. They're still paying. I'm going off that Nintendo methodology, you know? He's not sticking around to play? Hell yeah, girl smells. Oh shit, he playing. Yay. Baby doll. I might move some of these tables. Like, move this one here. And then when they're done playing, move that one there, and then... Oh, they had a quick game. I think they couldn't handle the stank that was next to them. Oh shit, this doesn't fit the way I thought it would. Oh god dang it. This didn't go the way I was hoping it would go. Confirm. What do you wanna know? You beat dog. We're getting close to a card shelf. 27. There we go. Oh, I already had an open box. Oops. Stuck up the stair. I had to kidnap him. Little baby. Ew, stinky. Ew, stinky. Uh-oh, stinky. Oh, what's up, dog? You wanna play a little bit? You wanna play a little bit? $28? Look the same. Man, I haven't listened to this song forever. So selling exotic pets, you're selling prepaid cards now? You're gonna spray stinkies? I don't have money for the spray. I gotta buy a card display. Oh, shit! Wait, that's what I want to do. Wait, hold on. Long road. Oh man, did you have to sit there? I was gonna move that table. He doesn't want to sit next to a stinky guy, though. That's understandable. Do I live a bachelor? Oh, sing a waterfall. Alright. I also cannot pay bills anymore. I shouldn't have bought so many fucking cards. If you're talking about me making a fortune, yeah, we could. It's a thing we could be. The death of a bachelor. Hold on, these boxes are in the way. Here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Convention. Yu-Gi-Oh's. Yeah, I could see that. I think so. Probably need to made a video about it. I don't remember what he said what it was, but. So the ones you opened, yeah. Do I have dupes? I have a dupe of this one. $4. Yeah, $4. Next whole dollar is how I like to do it. Your dress tangles my neck. How do I live? Oh, I have another seedant. Put a seedant down. Do I have any more dupes? I think I have 2 of these guys. Cards aren't the problem with money, but the $600 spent on tables. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I think you guys are being goobers. Another seedant. Let's do $2. Oh, $7. Not bad. This is gonna be $2. It's a whole dollar up markup. This will be $1 though. That one just $1. How the shelves looking? Shelves looking a little empty? Not really. I bought maybe a little too many cards. She had a Gucci price for IKEA tables. Listen, they're nice tables. They're nice tables. Ooh, Stinky Man wants a card. What else we got? Can I reorganize my cards? No. No take card. Open album. No. I want that card. I got another one of these. Close out. Pull card. Okay. Hello, sir. Press F while in the album. Hold on. $14. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go. Oh, sort by type, I guess. Ah, there we go. This is $1. And then I got 3 of these. Gotta get rid of all the dupes. That one's fine. Oh man. And I might kill your parents. Oh, what the fuck? Are you playing the full game or beta? I'm playing the beta, but I like it. I might get the game. I'd mod it to be Yu-Gi-Oh though, because I know more about Yu-Gi-Oh. You wanna play a game? She's just leaving? Damn. Have you played this game, Blue Flame? I forgot snapping for furniture wasn't in the OG demo. Bruh. Hurts my feelings. So you know modding the cards can break it? Like, break it bad or break it okay? Like, break it as in, like, what do you mean by break it? I'm on day 205? Damn. Damn, look at you. I can set my boxes at least. I've seen people lose their saves. But I just want to make them Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's unfortunate. I need these guys to understand that, like, they need to play against each other. I'm just gonna move these tables. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're stinky. You're stinky. $28. Alright. Alright. Dissatisfied only 4. A lot better. Alright. Not bad. Due in 6. Oh, it's only $100. Okay. Let me pay off that then. Oh. Can fill this back up. This box has, okay. Make sure. Oh, it's open. There you go. You can click and hold for scanning and filling shells. Oh, okay. I want to open a card pack. Gotta open a... Guys, welcome to Milk Club TCG, the club of milk. And we're going to open a card pack today. And it's going to have a Claw, a Helio, a Minstar, Kitsune, that's a new one, Cairo, Mifune, and a Guppy. First edition. Didn't get major hits, but we got... I don't want to do that. I'm kind of... made my tummy upset. Thank you, Orwell. Have a good lurk. Boop. There you go. I have a new slot. Page 1. I have a lot of pygmies. Kind of feels like I'm just making more money off of selling packs, though. I mean, that makes sense. I actually wouldn't want to sell the more valuable cards and not just the baby cards, I guess. But I want to keep my rare cards. Is there any more furniture we can buy? Anything cute? In the full game, you can set it to duplicate so you can keep one of each card. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Understood me. Purchase license. Oh, not this possible. Interesting. Cleanser. Bro, we could buy some cleanser. I don't have enough money now. Oh. Boop. I have a lot more decor. Okay. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. $12. I owe you 8. Dun, dun. Does the full game look better, like graphically as well, or does it look the same? I'm just curious. It doesn't super matter to me, but well, I guess since the save doesn't cross over, I could just sell whatever, huh? Looks about the same. Okay. Let's price. All right, let's sell the seed. This guy. So for $8. Oh, let me check this lady out. Enjoy your card. Just sell all my expensive ones. We'll do $7. There's a One Piece mod that has figures. It has figures. You can change the floor, walls, floor, and ceiling. That is nice, because this is kind of bland. I mean, like, I know, like, a lot of game shops have this, but I would not personally. What the fuck? They're knocking over my boxes. Shelf has no more space. Okay. Those are posters and other decorations. Ooh. God damn! This lady's about to do an unboxing on her TikTok page. Tell you what. $15. I need you to watch me dissolve slowly. Not a bad price. Wait, is this cheap? I don't know, not really. Chemistry works. Ooh, that does sound nice. He's just standing there, dude. Kind of gross. That's what I sell him for. Fair. Yeah, I think $4 a pop's not bad. I got one of those figure blind boxes. Ooh, which one did you get? I want to see. If you want, if you want, you can post a picture in the Discord server and I could see. I love those, but I never buy them myself because I know I'd be addicted to buying them. I don't know, how much is this game? Because I could see myself playing this game, but I don't know if I can like rationalize buying the game. It's $13. If someone gives me 3 subs, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I'll even make a TikTok on it. Because that's always how it is. Every time we get a game, I make a TikTok on it. That one's $4. Boop. Sweet as so slowly go, my love, my love. Am I out of the shelf? I could buy another shelf. Oh, these are like 2-sided. I didn't even plan for 2-sided shelves. Oh my goodness. I only have room for 2-sided shelves though. That's all. Sapoling, Helio, Muffin, Cairo, and Crabib. Shallow. Let's sell this one for... I'm gonna sell this one for 15. I like it. He's cute. They are double nice. They have 16 spots for products. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, he's buying a card. He's buying a card. Thank you. What are you buying today, sir? Another card? $3. There you go. Hope it gets me drunk. Oh, there's another opening. I guess we're gonna do this one. Do $5. And I can't sub. I like it rough. Okay. You got the funky. Oh, it looks like that guy lost. They have the same. They do have the same cards. Interesting. The fuck gets me stupid, gets me drunk. Anything that you. You can probably turn your old blind boxes into sticker blind boxes. Maybe not the VTubers though. Yeah, I could. No, yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be so fun. Okay, hold on. Fridge. Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh, you got the Midsummer Forest? Oh my god, that's actually really cute. That's actually so cute. Ah, this is a nice box. I actually like all of them. It's rare when a blind box has one where I like all of them. Stupid gets me drunk. I was wanting the Silent Dune. Which one's that one? Oh, I do like that one. I like the colors on that. That one is nice. That one is nice. That one's nice. Got twin shopping. Yep. I'm buying my whole store. Jesus. All right, straight $50. He came here with a plan. Are they gonna play against each other? Oh my god, I hope they play against. Oh, they don't. 1, 2. Yeah. That'd be funny if they played against each other. I think my grandma would have liked them too, since she used to buy Porcelain Angel. Yeah, I think my grandpa would like that because he did the same. Let's try to look at the streamer I follow. Damn. Maybe that was the reason why he looks like that. They could have taken inspiration. Stinky! Stinky! He was shocked when he played. Oh shit! Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if it looks like him. Maybe they like him. They use his likeness. See, we're racking up the money now, you know? We're doing pretty good. Let me open this pack. Ooh, a new card. We'll sell it. Gold foil, very nice. Where have you checked your Steam messages? Huh? Huh? Steam messages? Oh! Did you get me the... Ah! Please make your own cards. I will do my best. I was thinking we could make, like, beans. We could make bean cards. I'm downloading it. Thank you, Kiwi. I will play it right now. Because we have an hour left till we gotta go play D&D, so... Here, wait, hold on. Let me download it on the other computer because it looked like it was making some GPU problems. Thank you, Kiwi. I'll even download the mods for it. Yeah, it's having a little GPU hiccup, and I don't know if that's gonna be a thing in the full game. So, let me just be sure that doesn't happen. What is happening here? I have to download Nexus mods. I have to download Nexus mods. Because I don't have that on this computer. How do I download it? Optimizations for the full game? Okay, that's good. I would feel so bad if stream crashed. So I'd rather just... Also, it's getting dark in my... Okay, Google, turn on office lights. How do I download this? I want to download it. I want to download it. How do I download Nexus mods? Let me download it. Nexus mods download. Also, if I download it on this computer, it won't lag the internet over here, so download the latest version. I did that. Library download. Wait, this is the prologue. Install. Did it download? I don't think it downloaded. Okay, I downloaded the game. We should launch it at least once. And then, hold on, I gotta make sure Fantasy Grounds is updated for D&D. Give. Check for updates. So many things open on this computer. Let me close. Why is Infinity open? Oh, Kiwi, can you DM me really quick and say send flat colors or something like that? I have the flat colors done for your commission, and I wanted to get your opinion on it before I start shading. Enrichment campaign, big boy. Okay, I can do that later. You. More shelf types of golden mold. Okay. Thank you, Kiwi. Bro, this is taking forever to fucking download. Vortex Pookie, please. I don't think I need this in here anymore. I mean, it doesn't take long to launch the games or like relaunch the game. So we could just play, like, get it set up and then get Vortex. Good to go. New game. Should have looked at the settings. That might be loud. Kind of feels a little loud. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, settings. Tooltip, hold the sprint, cache your lock, and WSD speed. Show new card. Box spawn limit. Center dot, white cross. Outline apply. Checking the shop before you buy things. That's fair. Oh, I can sprint. Whoop. Wait. What's Club of Milk? That's what we called it, right? Club of Milk? Is that what we called it? I just want to make sure. I can scroll. Milk of Clubs. Okay. Very, very much aligned to do it backwards. Oh, confirm. Okay, and stock. Oh my god, there's so many more things. Tabletop. Woo! Dude, is that allowed? Is that allowed? Ultra Pro is an actual company, isn't it? Is that allowed? Holy shit! There's a lot of things in here. Yo, do you think they could partner with Enshrine? Sponsored? That's fucking correct. You mean Ultra Pro actually sponsors? Dude. Ooh, deco. Ooh, look at all this. There's they're grading? Wow. Okay, stock order. Okay, okay. Booster packs. Okay, accessories. Yep, yep. Oh, they have dice? Dice. Figurines. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. Wait, Vortex just finished, so we can grab those mods now. Yep. I am curious about something. Do I still have... Do I have to re-download Reshade? How does Reshade work? I don't remember. Hello, fellow totally well-adjusted human. Hello, totally well-adjusted squid, sir. How are you doing today? Welcome on in. I want to put it in card shop sim. Oh, I don't know. Let me check. TCG. I'm good. Just working. How's work? How work's going well? Going smooth? What is... Okay, Direct 3D. Direct 3D supported 11. Okay. Depth. I'm gonna make this game look good even if it doesn't. Adding features like crazy, making sure crap doesn't break. I believe in you. You're like fucking hella amazing. I believe in you so fucking hard. Next. Okay. Games. That'll piss me off. Okay. And this one. Login. Oh, my neck is like stiff. Alright, let's see how hard I can break this game before even actually playing it. Much noise. I like the sun here where I live is like lasting longer, but it's a bit more in my eyes because it reflects off my monitors. But I like having more sun. It's nice. How long is this gonna take, bruh? Under my arms, I used to follow my checks. I hope that you like this. The mystery figure is a VTuber, by the way. Sorry, he's just a no-face creator, not a VTuber. Oh, fair. That's okay. It's okay. I mean, kind of same if you think about it. Why is this taking so long? It's kind of boring. I just want to play the game.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
Definitely
I don't need it. Support for this game is
I don't
super
need
three
it.
issues.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it.
It's tunes. Tunes? Oops. Stop that. Content. See, I don't know who this is. His YouTube is cartoons. Oh, fuck. This mother. Oh, are they made by the same people? So this banner type, I fucking love this fucking banner type, and it drives me nuts because I want a banner type like this. Because Nova has something very similar. And it's so fucking amazing, and I want one like that so bad. I want one like this so bad. Because I think they're really cool. Game not discovered. Continue. Is this not the folder? I love tunes. You like them? They're cool. They're cool. I can tell that they're cool because they fucking have a banner like that, dude. Oh, it hurts my feelings. I want a banner like this so bad. Like, look at it. It's so nice. I saw people have issues with TCG Summon Vortex. That's fair. It just took a while. Found from the Vanos crew? Damn. How do I... Oh, I forgot. I have to look it up on here, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Card Shop Simulator. And then... Download. I just realized we were both fist fighting mods to work. That's why I'm your favorite content creator next. Obviously. Click here to URL. Field cannot. Wait, can I do it this way then? I don't usually mod things through Nexus, and that's why I get confused. I'm gonna open Nexus. Continue. How do I download this? Ah! Doesn't auto all the mods you need are some are pre-installed, not all. What? What do you mean? I'm lazy. Damn, okay. That means I have to read how to do this. It's fine. I can do that. Okay. This game was updated with which broke 2 important mods, more card expansions, and new cards. These 2 mods have been updated with. They're completely dead now under the Discord. Okay. I got the mods. I think they're downloading. 15 minutes. Bruh. Do I have... I just find it interesting. I thought you could download them in here. Download the One Piece one for a while now. That makes sense. I thought you could download them from here. Maybe I'm wrong. Normally download it on the site and then update them in the launcher. Oh, okay. Bro, this one is reinstalled. I want to see if there's any other Yu-Gi-Oh ones. Oh, this is the only Yu-Gi-Oh one? Damn. Cows are mammals. Cows are mammals! Isn't that crazy? I thought that's what that was. Okay. Isn't it amazing? Downloads. 9 months ago. Project TCG, Pokemon TCG, holographic. That's just the one I want. Okay, well, hopefully it works. I mean, we could just play it for now. I don't know where these badoops are coming from. They're spooking me. Are they from the Discord? No. Okay. Alright, well, let's see if the main mod I put on it works, which is reshade. Press home. That is not a home button. This is the home button. Skip tutorial. Okay. I keep forgetting I'm clicking the wrong button. How do I close it? Is it... I forgot how to hide it now. Oh, it is home. Okay. I might just play it because we have an hour. And then, next time we play it, I'll have the mods. Okay. Wait, let me do the reshade stuff. Border, I want... Where is it? Right. Display at kind of like this. Super depth 380. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think that's fine. I just wanted to give it a little bit more. I can't tell, though. Wait, what the fuck is happening up here? You guys can't really see it. What the fuck? Oh, ambient light is doing that. Oh, ambient light debug. Ah, I got it. One. Okay. At least this seems like it's. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. This is still very high. Oh, now it's too low. Okay. That's fine. Okay, I gotta buy cards. We'll do 7. We'll only buy 7. We'll be a bit smart about this. Let's do, yeah, $4. I kind of want to do $5. It's like cause like they're, you know, they got a $5 bill. We can open. It's sure expensive. It's only like a few dollars more, man. And I know you're gonna buy it. It's how it is here. Okay, maybe they're not gonna buy. I feel like $5 is a good amount though. Yeah, just $5. You can do a lot of. You can very easily, I feel like, get $5. $5 is $5. You know. There's a delivery fee when you buy your product. Oh man. See, she still bought them. She still bought them. Excuse me, sir. Boop, boop. 15. Yeah, see, and then we can do things in whole numbers. I like whole numbers. You can also use the numpad instead of clicking it when they pay with card. Really? Oh. I think I have a numpad. Alright, let me move this. No snap. How do you... Can you do... Door. Oh, fucking I love this song. Oh, I forgot a box. Oh my god. It costs $5? Yeah, man. Shipping is not cheap. Fucking asshole. Like this, and she does it like that. Oh, look at the Nocti. Oh, wait. Okay, so now I can do... Look into this. Sort album, view card, close, previous, next. Okay. I got a shiny Nocti. That's cool. How do I put it back? Alright, there we go. Snap on walls, but it doesn't hit boxes. Okay. Have a nice day. Oh, this game's a little loud. Hold on, I just want to see if this looks any different. We go now, we got it like this, and we do it like that. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Fake HDR is really nice. Hello? Want to sell this? What's the best I can get? Ask price 37, market price 34. What about a nice middle $35? Thank you. That's cool. That didn't happen in the demo. I don't like that they're saying it's expensive. Fine, we'll do $4. Does it like this and do it like that? Shake. Oh my god, there's reviews. Oh no. Shake, shake, shake. Have a nice day. Go repair and open the cards to get new cards. Okay. I think it's shelf. I don't buy it unless it's below market price. If they're asking higher, I round down from market price and they already take it down. Fair. Cute. Got a lot of water Pokemon with this. The pygmy. Gotta open 3 card packs. The stinky customers and prices are the biggest hit to your review. Okay. Oh, Nimbless. I got a shiny Nimbless. Still be with you. And some shit. Ain't that some shit? Pain in my chest. I still wish you the best of luck. Get you. I'm going for the Ferrari. I don't mean I can't meet you there. Oh, Pixels and I were looking at... If anybody has suggestions on how to print and sell stickers, please let me know. Because I do want to do that this year. And we're looking at printers. Oh my god, this guy bought a lot of packs. $32. That's nice that you can use a keypad. That's actually really nice. You boyfriend was driving around town with the girl I love, and I'm like, you're cute. Small cabinet, small metal. So you're gonna play, I recommend setting them up to man the register first. I like it though. I like doing the register. I don't super mind. But that makes sense. I mean, if it does get a thing where I get a little overwhelmed, then that's probably what I do first. Card 52. No, tomorrow. I can steal. I didn't know what I needed until I came to the shop. Now I'm broke. I like that. You were thinking of distributor or print them yourselves and mail them out. I was thinking of getting a distributor, like Vograce, I think, or something, if they did it, and then going through them and then shipping them myself once I got them, I think. I don't, cause like, I'd rather go through like another company to kind of like, I guess buy, to print them. That guy did not use the door. If I was with you, I'd still be here with you. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? I'm chain in my chest, I still... But, like, we want, like, a good printer. So if anybody has, like, printer suggestions. That's not HP. Oh, it'd be so bad. So bad. I tell your mama, but she told me this is one for your dad. Okay, I gotta buy a few things. Why? Basic card pack, license 64. Why would you buy this though? I'll buy it. Buy? Let's buy 2 units. And then we'll buy 2 units of this. 1 second, sir. Got to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I wanna, let's see, they had an event thing. Edit. $8. Alright, so watching any of our businesses, see if I can find this in the YouTube. I would appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So we got these things. Which I don't know how they differ, but we have them. This is $40. boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. I like the noise that it makes when you put the cards out there. And the rest of these I can open then. It's like I need something? Don't come into my store, you're stinky. Ooh. Really, you only need the license for the box set since you can open them and put them on shelves, 2 product types for 1 price. Ah. Dude, you're stinky. I'm gonna buy another table. Should buy a small cabinet as well. But now I have just not enough money. There you go. Is that even? Oh, I see. I see. I don't want my customers to be, like, stuck next to each other, though. It's like, I fucking stinks! That'll be $24. Oops, not $240. There you go. Change. Yeah, you're losing because you're stinky, man! I can feel that this one's gonna have some good hits in it. I think it's just a me thing, cause I feel like they'll be upset being next to the stinky guy, you know. Give him a little breathing space. Oh, I have enough for that table now, or this cabinet. No, I don't. I'm a liar. What is this? Scanner? Oh, stock scanner. Interesting. Open some packs. That was an okay pack. I keep clicking the wrong buttons. Oh, okay, hello. Welcome to my store. Pygmy! I like the Pygmy card. I was opening up packs. That makes sense. Hold on, let me open these 2 packs. Ooh. Okay. Unless they're like holographic, I don't really want them, to be honest. Boop. 24. God damn! Oh. That's a lot. Damn, this guy came in with a lot. There you go. Jesus. Okay. And that's why we sell box sets. That is fair. Oh, I didn't mean to open it. That's fine. Okay, you know what? We'll always open the first pack of each box that we get. I think that's fair. Okay, give me this. Hello. This is $8. 20. Oop. Okay, I want to get a tiny table. Imagine going to a game store, they just had one shelf with only packs. Hey man, maybe they're poor. Maybe they're poor, you know? You ever think about that? Maybe they're poor and they can't afford a lot of booster packs. Okay, hey, what's up, dude? 512. we go. We'll buy some booster packs, though. I'm gonna put them on. Thank you for the wellness check. Let me stretch. I popped my chest unintentionally. Okay. Okay. Wait. 2. Okay. Okay. And then we can buy some... Quantity 4. I only buy 1. I just got sorbetto. What's sorbetto? Oh. There we go. We're only $1,000. That's fair. Fair. 20. I'm doing $30. The raspberry. Oh, yum! Oh my god, that sounds so good. This guy just gonna hang out in my shop all day long. I wish I could see what these look like. What floor would I want? I want like... I kind of like this one. Floor 24. Or floor 23 is also nice. Store had a sale, so I got 2. Nice! We love a good sale. The herringbone wood is nice. When it said, I just hit the 10% button twice. Yeah, but then I have to deal with sense. I don't want to deal with sense. This guy needs to get out of my shop. Look at more deco, though. Poor for you. I don't mind. Floor 42 is kind of cool. That's what the round button is for? Oh. Okay, fair. Okay, fair. Maybe I didn't think about it more than a second. Their walls and their floors are kind of like the same. I like wood walls, but like I don't like the wood walls we have. Maybe I do wall 4 with floor 39, I think. What is this one? Ceiling? I don't mind the ceiling. So anyway though, but I stopped caring once I got an employee to deal with sense. That's fair. Dude, I'm gonna need you to leave. I hate dissatisfied. Day 2. Kind of stay 8 hours. Yep. Confirm event. Bingo. Alright, we're just gonna open some more packs up. There's only one at a table closing. They won't leave until you kick them out. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I felt rude, but I just there's only one. No one else was gonna come in. Press Q on the table. They might get up and shop. Oh, okay. Fair point. Fair point. Oh, I forgot to open the store. Excuse me. Sorry. Sluglop. Like that guy. There you go, we're open now. That guy got a business suit. Let me move this. Move this right there. Do I have to pay bills yet? $50, $11. I gotta pay the electricity. Should I open packs before you come in? On God. Grow bib. Oh, he just bought all the booster packs. He left booster packs. You're gonna resell these, aren't you? It's kind of fucked up, dude. $120. I gotta buy more. Stock order. Basic. Okay, I can at least buy 2. Hello. Sorry we don't have any booster packs. The guy before you just bought them all. Like a fucking asshole. Fuck scalpers. Fuck scalpers. They're why I can't get more One Piece cards. That's so fair, though. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Oops. Wait, can I take one? There you go. $16. They sniffed it. They sniffed the new packs, and then they were like, ah, I'll just buy them so I can scalp their prices. Oh, you see, this guy only bought 2. Probably one for him and his friend. That's a good guy right there. Hey, you have a good day, sir. You can restock the boxes with right click. Oh. It's pricey. Fuck. No. Oh, you need to think. Bro, you are not thinking. You were like, I want these boxes. Listen, you don't gotta save face in front of me, my guy. Buy more boxes. No, he's opening boxes on stream. It's fair, but you would buy more, wouldn't you? I'd buy at least 3, I think. Buy 2 more of these. Not enough money. Oh, 133. Fuck. Oh, perfect. Have a great day. Stinky man. I think I'm gonna switch these up, maybe? Well, no, I think it's fine like this. Oh, 3 of them. Now this guy's opening them on the stream. You see how he stinks? Okay, cool. Purchase. Wait, I want to buy some stinky stuff. Oh, I can't buy that yet. I'm poor. So I can just right click? Box has no more space. Wait, you can restock box. Oh, I see what you mean. One momento, sir. I'm just restocking these up. See, look at that. That's so good. Oh, thank you. I was about to punch a sneaky customer. Yeah, I want to buy I gotta buy the license for it, though. $72. Okay. Can't buy them yet, but we should be able to after this person purchases the booster pack. Okay. Sorry, sir. I just need to buy some anti-stinky people spray. Alright. I won't be letting my customers smell that kind of stank. Licensed deodorant is crazy. Yeah, a little bit. Alright, we'll put these on the bottom shelf. And I would like to keep one with me. What? Oh, I guess I can... Okay. Market price $15. I'll make them 16. Alright. He's not thinking he bought them. He just said that they were pricey because he doesn't want people to know how much he likes the cards. Oh, good man. Good man. Buying some spray. I'm proud of you, dude. Looking out for future self. That's some self-preservation right there. You can sell partially empty cans. Really? I don't know. Excuse me. So it's kind of good to keep an empty box around if you want to shift stuff around at all. 38. There we go. Are there any other decorations? Deco. I was hoping like furniture decor. Ooh! want some potted plants. I like this one. I just keep at least one big box. Yeah, that's fair. 12. You need something, dude? Market price, ask price. Alright, I'm gonna go 40. I'm gonna go 40. Let's see. What do you think? Alrighty. I don't look at decorations at all. Yeah. We're all about aesthetics here. Where did my plants? Where are my plants? Where are my plants? What do you mean? I just bought plants. Where are my plants? Okay, well. Oh, wait. Are my reviews good? 4.91. Good time playing here. 4 stars. Did you check out? Oh, I might not have. But it subtracted the money, so I thought I checked out, but maybe I didn't. Yeah, no, you just click it, and then, yeah, it says owned to. Maybe it takes a little bit. Sound. What's up, dog? Ooh, I'm gonna say $6, man. Thank you. Could have bought more booster packs, alright. Alrighty. Hello, Taylor. Welcome on in. Something gets delivered after a few days of grading. Like grading cards, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yippee! Welcome on in. How are you doing today? Let me turn some lights on. Then I need to buy more booster packs. I'll do 3 purchase. Have a nice day, sir. I feel like everyone uses the corner door for storage in the beginning. Yeah, I can see that. Hello, Condemned. Welcome on in. Okay, hold on. Just restocking the shelves. I think this can actually hold 6, but it's fine. I heard this game is really hard. It is pretty hard. I don't like the aesthetic that I have on my shelves right now, but it's okay. Why is he upset? Shook his head. I buy a card table, but I think that's card table. Card tables are $400. Oh, 2x2 cabinet? Wait. I like those. Eventually need a full nerd shop selling board games, dice, and manga too. That actually sounds kind of cool. That actually sounds kind of cool. Anything? Oh, I have cards in there. Let me open one of these. I didn't open a pack from this box yet. Sapling. Crowbib. I have a better version on that card. Sludge Cup. Boop. Thank you. Have a nice day. $8. With a cafe. With a cafe. Not really. Aww. Elaine, have money management and games? Impossible. Yeah, not really. I just kind of buy things immediately. I don't usually wait. My game place has a cafe? That's cool. Is it nice? Cafe is always peak. think it is 6. Yeah, it is. I might want to change this up. And I get up again. Never gonna lay me down. I get knocked down. I get up again. You're never gonna lay me down. I get knocked down. I get up again. A few more dollars and then we can buy the display table. Excuse me, sir. I need to buy this. Oh, wait. No, I was wrong. It's 400. I thought it was 300. Boy, Johnny boy, Johnny boy. Oh, damn. She bought 3? Time to open some packs. Yeah, we can open packs. One of these open pack. Do pay your bills? Ooh, shit. Good point. Ooh. Ooh. I think I need to pay my... Yeah, I need to pay my rent. Mm-hmm. Donnie boy. Walk down, and I get up again. And never gonna hit me down, I'll get knocked down. I get up again. Hey, what are you doing? Get down. Get down, Moira. Down. She's like chewing on things she's not supposed to. Nerd. Thank you. Cat moment. Yes, cat moment, but she decides to chew on my fucking 3D printed things. Moira wants to open packs. Well, she can open as many packs as she wants. As long as she doesn't fucking eat my fucking sculpts, man. Or my sculpts, my fucking... My mom. My, what the fuck you call them? My cool 3D printed models. I don't like that. I kind of like doing those over here. Okay. Wait, that's not one I place. Oh yeah, okay, I can sort them. Tetramon. And then... duplicates. This one. This one. This one. This one. You only have the Tetramon card for now? Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, I don't really know why I clicked it, but I did. There you go. $1. I know you're supposed to spell the more expensive cards, but I don't really know what to do with the lesser expensive cards then. I see the 10% round comes in handy there. 10% round. Oop. What the fuck? Hello, Rainer. Welcome on in. Okay. Need you to not. How do you know when they're dissatisfied? You can pack them into bulk boxes? Oh, okay. So that's what this is then. I wonder. Okay. Is it like one of these? That's in the furniture. That's good. Card projector. Bulk donation box. Past it. On the auto send. No one knows. It's called workbench. Oh, it's 1,000. And you need level 7 for it, damn. One no scrub, I'm gonna get no love from me. Alright. Let's open a pack. See what we'll get. Ooh! Very shiny. I like that. It's like a rainbow holographic. It's because these are expensive. Yeah, it's just $4. If you didn't open right away. Oh, interesting. I mean, the time doesn't start, so... I could care less if they're expensive. If the complaints are that they're expensive, I could care less. Let's... do this one. I'll do $2. I could probably just change this every day, by the way. Oh man. Oh, one no scrub, and they're gonna get love from me. I think I need to buy more deodorant. No love from me. To buy more deodorant. Let me look at the boxes. Market price 25. We'll do 26 then. We need more deodorant. I keep clicking the wrong one. One no scrub, and gonna get no love from me. Let's do. Gonna get no love from me. Touches her side. Oh fuck. Boop. I still had one left. Oh. They were all sold out. Boop, 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 boop. There you go. Have a nice day. And I have enough to buy the stuff I want. Boop. I think I'm gonna take 4. Hold on. Can you, like, sell items if you don't want them anymore? Like shelves and stuff? I guess that's fine, actually. Alright. 78. Wait, packs to find ones that might have a hit. Really? Like in this game? Damn. I haven't seen any stinky people yet, which is nice. Oh my god. Oh my god. You can store shells. I don't think you can sell them. That's fair. Is there still a thing in here? Seedent, Flamey, Tetron. Very cool. Excuse me. IRL, not in game. Oh, really? Oh, shit. I wonder if it's because it's like, because technically it has like different materials on it so you can kind of like weigh it. I'm gonna open these ones. This is my open box. I need to buy. I don't really need to buy anything right now. I got plenty of stock on everything. $12. There you go. $305. What else can I buy for $305? I want my plants. Kind of want a bigger place. I have enough for a bigger place. Bam. Ew, what the fuck is that? I guess that's where I'm going to check out now. $32. This is where the checkout's going. Oh, I gotta move that table? Fuck. Shit. Shit. I need you guys to finish your game. You guys have a sign-on cost, then a daily wage. The first one costs $500 and then $50 a day. Damn. Let me these guys get out of the table. I'm putting this there. I don't know how I feel about the thing that sold the most is the deodorant. Heavy packs are more valuable. Damn. Need you guys to get the fuck out of here so I can put the register here. I'm gonna put the register right here. Well, that's it's kind of crammed in there, actually. Do you have to worry about stealing in this game? Selling means less people with BO. Selling more means... Okay, that's fair. I have to buy more, though. No stealing? Okay. Okay. Because, like, in gas stations, there was, like, a thing with, it's like, God, so expensive. What are you talking about, man? Hi, Andrea. How are you? $22. Let me come in here with $100. I think it might be on their roadmap. Okay. I kind of don't want that because, like, it's just added stress that I personally don't like. Wait. There you go. I need to buy more booster box and more deodorant. Man, this is why you buy booster boxes. Alright, booster boxes, booster boxes. Not this. I have lost all my money. Quantity 8. It's not bad. I'm good. I'm good. I have no more money. Put these up for sale. Okay. I'm just playing this because, I don't know, I guess it was a vibe for it today. I'm glad you're vibing, though. Good day for a vibe. To go to play D&D soon. 46 cents. Let's do one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Random events is what they call it, so I'm thinking maybe it's like stealing or rush hour. I'm presuming probably like rush hour or something. I'm doing like $2. How about this? How about what, bro? I'll do 2.5. Alright, I need to buy more booster boxes. Wait, can I do an order of that and then an order of these? That's $2.43, okay. Bro is in the corner. $7. Damn! Borderless? There's a full art, guys? I might do 54 for this. It's full art. It's a full art, guys. I'm learning the lingo of Magic. Because I watch Meaty Magic where they open cards. It's time, baby, happy. Bulletproof. I'll just buy this for now. Oh no, Stinky! Wait, no, that's not where I want to put that. Uh-oh, stinky. There. I have to buy stinky spray. Why are there so many stinky people? Oh, not enough money. Not enough money. Imagine if they had that'd be so cool if they added misprinted cards. Why are you shaking your head? Not enough room to play, maybe. I don't have enough money! Come in and buy something and maybe I'd have enough money for another table. Wish I had like a storage shelf. When you start dealing with graded cards, they'll look damaged. Interesting. I'm gonna buy them. You know, say they'd be gonna buy a few. Comes on the best shop around. Alright, now I can buy my deodorant. Stock order. Purchase. I'm gonna take one of these and spray a bitch because I haven't gotten to spray anybody. Could send them off to be graded now. I'm okay. I need to save money. Fucking. Stop. You're stinky. Alright, hello. 27. Enjoy your cards. Oop. If somebody. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's up? Ask market. Jesus Christ! Let me think. I don't have that much money. You think he'd take $100 for it? I will give you $100. It's way too low. Alright, what about 150? Let me think. Let me think about it, man. I don't have enough money for that. Alright, what about $200? I got $200. I want that card. It's expensive. It looks cool. Okay, what about $220? Okay, well, there's a few people coming in to buy stuff. Maybe I'll earn enough money to buy the card. I want that card. Some of them will trade instead of sell. Doesn't seem like it. Alright, what about 250? I didn't have enough money. I'm poor. I'm so poor. It's either Trell or say... Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense. Alright, guys. It's closing time. I gotta pay my bills. Pay. Look at me. I pay all my bills. No sweaty spaghetti. I do want to buy more boosters if I can. Booster pack, booster pack. I like the bigger sized quantities of like stuff because I feel like it's cheaper, I think. Two, 3, 4. All right. Don't sit down. Lose from not paying their bills. That's fair. profit. $56. Day 4. Alright. Alright, I might not be able to finish this day on stream because I gotta go play D&D, but we'll play until it's like 5 till. Stop, no beat, no stop. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody, move your feet and be united. Oh, oh, oh. Yay, D&D! Hi, Lydium! Can't wait to get our ass kicked today. Some people will be dissatisfied if you don't have anything for sale that they're looking for. Oh, that would make a lot of sense, honestly. Listen, I'm poor. Oh, what they want from me. 20 bucks for 6 is fair. I think, yeah, 10%. Dude. I'm gonna leave that at $4. Oh my god. Reseller alert. Where are my plants, bro? I want my plants. We're united. Hey man, what's up? I like moving them like that. It's kind of nice. Hello. You got an expensive ass card too, bro. Can I sell it? I want to sell this card. Alright, what would you do for... Oh, you're asking for that much. 300. I don't have 200. What about 250? They should only want the stuff at your shop level. Okay. I think I have everything at my shop level. Oh, no. I could get Tetramon doubled. This one. I don't have enough money for it, though. Card sleeves. I guess I could get some card sleeves. Add to cart. And then I want another one of these. I'll buy those. There we go. Beat, don't stop. Can't stop the beat. Can't stop the beat. Everybody, I feel united. Oh. Please, excuse me. I was stalking that. I'm trying to stalk, dude. $3. Alright, we're 10 till. We have to go play D&D super soon. Damn, that guy looked tall. What the fuck? We started as friends. What's up? Ooh, doing $8. I'm gonna resell that one. 18. Oh fuck. 90 cents. There you go. Should have put the boosters packs at a whole value. Hear me say. Oh, let me around. There you go. Alright, I'm going to pause here because I have to use a restroom. So, let me go see if Havoc is live really quick. And I don't know if I'll... I want him on the game. Okay. Let me go see if Havoc is live. Mew is live. Havoc is live. Okay. We're gonna go raid Havoc. And then we will be back in a little bit. We'll be over there. I love you guys very much, and thank you for hanging out with me on my short stream today. But we'll be back tomorrow for a full day of D&D, probably some games, and then, actually, Actually, I see Gabby streaming. Actually, Ray's streaming. We've never raided into Ray, really. Okay, we're gonna go raid into Ray, actually. We're gonna raid into Ray. There you go. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If you want to see me more... Oh my god, that's not how you spell raid message. You can see me at Havoc's channel. Which is... shout out. Oh my god. _RPG. You can see me over there. Follow him if you haven't. We love him. He's our DM. But I love you guys very much. And I'll see you tomorrow for a day of D&D TikToks, I promise. And whatever else that we plan to do. But I love you so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Good night.